If walking is your main form of exercise, you are already ahead of most people. But walking has a partner it has always needed. Without that partner, your muscles are slowly losing ground, your balance is becoming less reliable, and your joints are taking more stress than they should. Put the two together, and something remarkable happens. That is exactly what we are going to show you today. A fall after 70 is not just an injury. For 1 in 5 older adults, a hip fracture leads to death within a year. And for many who survive, it is the event that ends independent living. The tragedy is that the majority of those falls are preventable, not by walking more, but by training the systems that walking does not touch at all. Think about the last time you caught yourself. Maybe you stepped off a curb awkwardly, or your foot caught the edge of a rug. In that split second, your body fired a cascade of signals between your brain, your nerves, and your muscles to keep you upright. That system is called proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space. And after 60, it starts to slow down. By your mid-70s, research shows that proprioceptive response time has declined significantly in most adults. The small, stabilizing muscles in your ankles and hips, the ones that catch you, become slower and weaker. And daily walking on flat, predictable surfaces does almost nothing to retrain them. That is the hidden vulnerability. And the good news is that it can be fixed with movements you can do in your own kitchen. Stand on one foot while you wait for your coffee to brew. Put one hand on the counter at first. Then work toward letting go. So aim for 10 seconds, then 20, then 30. Practice heel-to-toe walking across the room, placing the heel of one foot directly in front of the toes of the other. 10 steps forward and 10 steps back. These are not exercises that look impressive, but they target the exact neurological pathways that protect you from a fall. Studies have shown that consistent balance training can reduce fall risk in older adults by up to 23%. That is not a small number. That is life-changing protection built in minutes a day. Now here is where the transformation really begins, because once you address the balance gap, you can start building something even more powerful. Strength. And this is where most people over 60 have been given incomplete information. Starting around age 30, the body begins to lose muscle mass at roughly 3 to 5% per decade. Whereas after 60, that rate accelerates. By the time most people reach their 70s, they have lost between 25 and 30% of the muscle they had in their prime. The condition is called sarcopenia, and it is one of the most significant drivers of disability and lost independence in older adults. Here is what makes it so difficult to detect. It does not hurt. It happens gradually. You just quietly find that standing up from a low chair takes more effort, that carrying bags in from the car feels heavier, that stairs leave you more winded than they used to. By the time most people notice, the loss is already substantial. Walking cannot reverse sarcopenia. That is not a flaw in walking. It is just biology. Cardiovascular exercise strengthens your heart and lungs, but muscle tissue requires a different signal to grow and maintain itself. It needs resistance. It needs to be challenged against an opposing force. Without that challenge, it continues to shrink no matter how many steps you log. The solution is resistance training, and the evidence behind it is extraordinary. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that older adults who engaged in resistance training twice a week not only preserved muscle mass, but in many cases rebuilt it. Participants improved their functional strength, their walking speed, and their ability to perform daily tasks independently. And you do not need a gym or heavy equipment to get there. Resistance bands are one of the most effective and joint-friendly tools available. Seated rows, bicep curls, and standing leg presses with a light band, done consistently 2 or 3 times a week, are enough to reverse the trajectory. Bodyweight exercises work just as well. Wall push-ups. And the sit to stand, simply rising from a chair without pushing off with your hands. Researchers at the University of São Paulo developed a version of this test and found that adults who struggled to perform it had a significantly higher risk of death from all causes over a 12-year follow-up period. Your ability to get up off the floor without help turned out to be one of the most reliable predictors of how long and how well you would live. Meet Dennis. He is 74, retired, and walked 3 miles every morning for 5 years. He thought he was in good shape. Then he noticed that getting up from the couch was becoming a project. His doctor ran some tests and told him his muscle mass was in the bottom quartile for his age group. Not because he was lazy, because he had been doing cardio without any resistance work. 6 months after adding 2 band workouts a week, his strength scores reversed. He told his doctor it felt like getting 5 years back. And then there is the compounding benefit that most people never expect. Building muscle around your knees and hips actually reduces joint pain. The muscle acts as a living shock absorber. Many people who start resistance training after years of chronic aching report that the pain they had accepted as permanent simply begins to ease. The very activity they feared would hurt them turns out to be the thing that finally helped. The last piece of the puzzle is flexibility and core strength, and these two work together in ways that most people underestimate. As we age, joints stiffen and range of motion shrinks. Reaching overhead, turning at the waist, bending to pick something up off the floor, these become labored. When they do, the body compensates. Your lower back absorbs load it was not designed to carry. Your posture begins to collapse forward. And with a weakened core, every movement becomes slightly less stable, slightly less controlled. The fix takes 5 minutes in the morning. Slow shoulder circles, gentle hip circles, a 20-second hamstring stretch after your walk. These movements push synovial fluid through your joints, the body's own natural lubricant, and maintain the range of motion you need for daily life. For the core, the pelvic tilt is one of the most underrated exercises in existence. Lie on your back with your knees bent and gently press your lower back into the floor by tightening your abdominal muscles. Hold 5 seconds. On release, repeat 10 times. No crunches, no strain. Just deep foundational work that supports your spine, corrects your posture, and reduces fall risk from the inside out. Here is what this transformation looks like when all the pieces come together. Walking handles your cardiovascular health. Balance training protects your nervous system. Resistance work preserves your muscle and your independence. Flexibility keeps your joints moving freely. Core work holds everything in place. Together, these 5 elements create something that walking alone never could. A body that is genuinely resilient, one that can handle the unexpected, recover from a stumble, carry groceries without wincing, and keep doing the things that make life worth living well into your 80s and beyond. You do not have to take that on alone or figure out the right progressions by trial and error. Our course, Regain Your Health and Vitality, even after 60, gives you a complete step-by-step system built specifically for adults over 60. Every exercise, every progression, every explanation of why it works for your body at this stage of life. The link is just below this video. Your most capable years are not necessarily behind you. With the right plan, they can still be ahead.